Have you ever wanted to start a beauty business, but you're not a practitioner, you're not a makeup artist, you're not a hairstylist, you're not a nail tech, you're not any of those things, and you absolutely have zero desire to start your own line? Then this is the episode for you to watch. So I'm going to stop talking and let's start the show. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think I am live now. Okay. Hi guys, good evening and welcome to the Lipstick Effect. Flow will not let me live. I am sorry about just random screen on your computers at Tuesday night at 7 o'clock when I'm supposed to be here, but I'm here and I'm determined to the what was he saying? Not let the bastards hold me down, right? So I'm going to get through this stream. Come hello, high water. So welcome to the Lipstick Effect. Good evening and welcome. I hope you guys are here. I see a couple of you are on, so thanks for staying around and thanks for being here. I appreciate that. Normally, in the first 15 minutes, I give you guys a taste of what's happening, but the first 15 minutes are pretty much finished. I'm pretty much finished. I'm just gonna give you a real quick rundown of what we're looking forward to tonight, right? So normally we have our guests backstage. It's amazing that we have everything prepared, and one of our suppliers, i.e., the internet, decides to put an end to the stream. But we're not going to let that stop us, okay? So, again, I'm Jamila Bannister, brand strategist for beauty brands, and I'm actually very excited about our guest this evening. She's backstage, she's having her cookies or her caviar. We have a nice big spread in the back there with lots of drinks and eats and stuff. So people are always having a good time in my green room. And since we lost the first 15 minutes, I'm not going to stick anymore. I'm going to bring her in, and we could always talk about the things I would have talked about in the first 15 minutes later. So tonight we're going to talk about becoming a beauty brand or launching your own beauty business in a more unconventional way, but a valid and significant way nonetheless. And so let's get to it. This tonight will have a lot of gems dropping. So definitely get your notebook to take your notes. And if you can't watch the entire stream, come back. And if you're here live, please click live. And if you're here on the replay, please put replay in the comments, or put live in the comments, or put replay in the comments. Leave us a few lipsticks so we'll know that you're here and you're tuned in and you're plugged in. And let's get started, right? So bringing to the stage, bringing to the stage, Nikita, put down that champagne and that caviar. We're gonna bring you out now for the show. Welcome to the Lipstick Effect, Miss Nikita Legall. How are you? How
Hello.
are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad that you are here. And technical difficulties, and bar none, we will not be stopping. So here we go. I'm excited to have you on. And I know we've talked about this for a while, so I'm glad that we actually are here now. And so let's get straight into it. So for those people who may have never met you, because I know you're typically a behind the scenes type of gal. You're not too much on the front,
Yeah.
but you're very busy doing a lot of things. So just tell us a little bit about you and about you and what we can look forward to tonight.
Okay. So essentially, well, yes, I'm Nikita Legall. My first degree is in chemical and process engineering, but for the purpose of this stream, we're going to talk about product distribution. So I am responsible for six small but growing brands in the local industry. So I'm the brand manager for Afro Love, which is for Afro hair, Curly Love, which is for curlier hair, the Relax line, which is for relaxed hair, Keratin X, which is for keratin treated hair, and then we have a pistachio and collagen and a pistachio and collagen and then a macadamia and collagen lines. So essentially what I do is introduce the brands to the local market and try to find the right audience for the right products. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so that's pretty cool. So you are like a strategist in the midst of, you're the person in the middle that makes the connection between the consumer and the manufacturer, which is a nice and interesting place
Yeah.
to be, because you kind of have to have your hands in both worlds and understand how both
Yeah.
worlds work, right?
Yeah.
And that must be very exciting. What is that experience like?
It's a lot more work than I think most people think it is, because you have uh you have somebody making the product, your manufacturer, and then there's everything that goes into that between the actual making of the product to getting the product in the hands of the consumer. So there are a lot of like little pieces that most people may not necessarily think about, especially if you're probably maybe a local person now making their first set of products or their first few products to put out on the local market. A lot of things with like pricing and all of the work that you put into your brand. I find a lot of times people don't always cost all of the things that they do that add value. It's not
Yeah.
just the ingredients and then the cost of the ingredients, the cost of production, and then you put a markup and you sell it. That's not it, you know?
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, look, we have our first comment. Oh, we have our first comment from Tisha. She says, "Nice. Look me here. I am volunteering to be a test subject." Hi, Tisha. Thank you so much for being here and for joining us. We had some technical difficulties, but we are pushing through, baby. We are pushing through. All right. So share this live stream with a couple people who you know, who obviously would value this information, who would find it interesting, and who are probably thinking about starting their own beauty business, but they are a little bit, shy about getting into something that is their own product because they're not a practitioner, they have no idea where to start. This is a really good place for you to start. So Nikita, okay, so I have you down here as a serial entrepreneur because at the beginning of the stream you said, for the purposes of this stream, I will be. So, of course, you that implies that you wear multiple hats.
Yeah.
So I know you were, I mean, a far industry. I mean, far but close because I'm sure a lot of the products in the agri field they use in the inside of the ingredients in
Yeah, they do.
a lot of these beauty products. So, um, tell us a little bit about what was it about the beauty industry in particular that made you say, okay, yes, this is a place I'm willing to invest my effort because I mean you could have done distribution for dirt or seeds or something else, and maybe you will do
I,
those things. I don't know.
I mean, I could have, but I think it's a lot of it is, well, how it started is relationships and meeting the right people.
Yeah,
So I met one of the owners of Afrolove at a trade expo, and I just really love the products. I love the
yeah,
products. You know, we had a good vibe. We kept in touch, and I was like, I just wanted to see this product in Trinidad. Probably selfishly because I wanted to buy the products and make sure I have products for my hair, right? Because it
yeah,
worked so well. So, but from experience in business, I had a fair bit of experience with, social media marketing, marketing in general, and the intention at the time was always that somebody would have picked up this product and run with it because it was such a great product. But that essentially didn't happen. And we both
mm,
wanted the products here. So he said, okay, well, you do it. And then I just ended up jumping straight feet first into distribution or head first into distribution, and just worked on trying to get the product that I knew worked very well that I love myself, because obviously I have natural afro hair, to
mm,
other people like me, and
yeah,
then figuring that out as I went,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah. All right. Okay. So I know you have Afro Love. You now have Curly Love. You have products that range from a fair amount
Hmm.
of hair textures, which gives everybody the opportunity to get something from Tanex, right? And
Yeah.
you started to touch on your story a little bit there, and I always tell you that the story of how you ended up with this brand in your hands is really interesting, and what it did for me and what it did for me is that it showed me that the biggest enemy that we have a lot of times is lack of information, right?
Okay.
Lack of information, because as long as you know about certain opportunities, about certain things, as long as you know about how to pitch certain things, you might find yourself in places and access to things that you wouldn't normally access. So if you could just tell us a little bit about like what happened for you to end up with this brand in your hands, and how
So
you made the connection with your manufacturers.
okay, so a lot of it, I think one of the things that I do well is spotting opportunities
Mm-hmm.
and being bold enough to kind of go after it. So to put us into context, we met at TIC, right, which is a local trade expo. Literally, there are thousands of people passing through that particular trade expo,
Yeah.
right, locally. So theoretically, many people saw this opportunity and walked past it,
Right.
right? I mean, with regards to the large distribution companies that we have here, you know, maybe there was some reason why that didn't work for them if they were already carrying a particular competing line to Afrolove or whatever the case is. But it's like it wasn't a situation where I just said, "Hey, I want to carry your line. I have $0 and no experience." It
Yeah.
was, "I really love this product.
Yeah.
Whatever it is I can do to be a part of this story, to see this product here, you know, let's do that." And
Yeah.
it kind of blossomed into that. So I think sometimes people like they underestimate the value of really creating meaningful relationships. And
True.
that is what made one line, getting one line here and then having one line turn into six different lines. So even now, it's like if you have Afro here and then you decide, oh, I'm gonna go back to the creamy craft, you still got stuff for that. If you decide, if you lost your job and you can't afford the higher end product of Afro Love, you still got stuff for that. So
Yeah.
wherever you find yourself on the scale, I want to make sure that we have a product that could kind of fit you, you know?
Yeah. 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 And that's really cool. And you're right. Sometimes people may walk past opportunity, and sometimes it's because they don't recognize that it is in fact an opportunity. Sometimes it's because their brains and their eyes and their senses have not been sharpened by
Mm-hmm.
experience to be able to say, "Hey, this looks like something that I could do." And even people who may be in the industry already, you know, and it's a natural fit for them and what they do. So I think that was really, really cool in the way that you got that. And I mean, it was a trade and investment conference. I know a lot of people think that the trade and investment conference is just people just go and they just get free stuff. No, people actually make business connections there. Yeah,
Yeah.
trade actually happens there. Trade actually happens there. So that was a nice story coming out of the trade and investment conference. So for all my trade people who are watching, this is actually happening, right? All right. So you just mentioned just now about the other distributors. So I mean, in this market, the beauty space, is a challenging space to penetrate. There's a lot of massive players who may have kind of almost locked up the market. So they don't only have one line. Many of them have multiple lines that they may be distributing here, right? And you know what? Because of the companies that own the rights to distribute, a lot of them have regional reach. So it's not
Mhm.
just Trinidad and Tobago, some of them are regional and so on and so on. So how are you, Tanex, a relatively new entrant to the market? Because this company has been around 3 years, around that.
I only
About that.
officially registered the business last year,
Okay.
actually.
All right. So
So it's like
let's call
you
it,
just got, yeah. Let's say two, let's say
yeah,
Afrolove has been on the market for about 2 or 3. Let's say Afrolove has been on the market for 3 years.
2 years,
So a
right.
lot of it
So
would
I
be
mean,
me
relatively.
starting. Sorry.
Right. I don't know, relatively young compared to the Amcos and the Pennywise and
Hmm.
those kinds of companies. And then when you've been in a market long, you have relationships, you kind of lock up the market. So how is Tanex um maneuvering through those that gauntlet and getting yourself distributed. What do you say is like key to you kind of skipping over those lily pads and getting where you need to be?
I think part of it is that every line is a little bit different. So you kind of have
Hmm.
to figure out what is it that is special about this line and
Hmm.
where is the best place for it to be. So I can give the example I could give is like the Keratin X line, right?
Hmm.
That line we have in Pennywise and it does well in Pennywise.
Hmm.
But with beauty, a shampoo is not just a shampoo. They're kind of a range of categories. If you're a professional line, if you're a low cost line, wherever it is it fits. So like trying to figure out your strategy that way. So the Keratin X line is doing well because it's almost 50% less than another brand in its category. So one shampoo might be $50, and then our shampoo may retail for around $50, and our nearest competitor might retail for $80.
Right.
So you're kind of hitting a different kind of target market. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, yeah, you have to be really strategic, and I can get to these people here. Like our Afro Love line, it's we do a lot of work with our social media to educate people about the product, to really make them fall in love with the brand. We do a lot of demos on social media so they can see how the brand works for their hair. So it's just like a different approach to every single line, and how am I reaching the exact target market for the product that I have to sell.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's important to know because sometimes it's easy to become lazy and just kind of have like a broad brush approach to things. But when you really want individual brands to take off, you really have to pay
Mhm.
attention. They're like children. You have to pay attention to them individually and give them their own space and give them their own kind of room to grow and kind of groom
Yeah.
them in their own way. So I mean, yeah, that's good that you're able, and I imagine that your size being small makes you a little bit more nimble too. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it makes us a little bit more nimble, and then there are things that we would do that maybe other brands may not necessarily do. So,
Yeah.
Afrolove having its own page for its own audience, Curly Love having its own page for its own audience, and then that is intentional because these are not brands that everybody knows. So most of the
Yeah.
large US brands, people here know them. So it's a lot more legwork to introduce a brand that people are not necessarily as familiar with. But then
Yeah.
your small distributor, what am I going to do? Hey, L'Oreal, you're going to carry your products? No, you're not going to take me on.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah. So I mean, you have to play the cards that you have,
Hmm.
and grow from there. And everybody, L'Oreal didn't start as this mega giant. I mean, they started in a particular place, and
Hmm.
I have to commend your manufacturing partners. They're small. They saw an opportunity. They didn't say, well, who is this random one girl who just wants to do this thing? You know what I mean? They saw it
Hmm.
as an opportunity to enter a market, and
Hmm.
that's exactly what happened. So so yeah, so that was really really good. All right, so let's talk a little bit about branding now. So just now you talked about each audience having its own, sorry, each product having its own audience and being sure to kind of pay attention individually to things.
Hmm.
So typically when I speak to any business owner, usually I emphasize the need for them to make their origin story a central part of their talk track and their messaging, and to ensure that they really connect with the audience. But as a distributor, you may not necessarily have that leverage because this is not your a product that
Right.
you developed. It may not be your story. So what story are you telling the audience? And like, which audience are you focusing on? What story? What is it?
Well, I think at least with the Afro Love, um, on
Oh
every
my gosh.
on every product there's a little thing on the bottle that says Afro Love was created to love it, well, love yourself like you love your hair from root to end, right? So that essentially is the story
Mm-hmm.
of the brand, to have a product that will allow women with Afro hair to love their hair like they love themselves, right?
Mm,
And really embracing that natural texture. So it may not necessarily be my story that came out of me, but
Mm-hmm.
it's certainly part of why I resonated with that brand.
Mm-hmm.
And then as a brand manager, how do I um, duplicate that so that other people see that story and it resonates with them as well, right? I mean, and then even when you have things in the local market, what do you support? If somebody has, a natural hair festival and you want to be there because those are the kind of people and the types of activities that you want to be involved in, you know. So that's where that messaging comes in. I mean, yes, we have a brand guide, we have a logo for the brand, we have specific fonts and stuff that we use that you'll see used consistently and all that stuff to so that the message is consistent. But also, I mean, that's just pictures and words unless the team that is pushing the brand really is believing in the vision of that brand and what value that brand is supposed to add.
Yeah, yeah. No, and that's good. You really you definitely want to be able to and again, I think that comes down to your your size. You're able to, and the thing that drove you in particular to really be a part of this, it resonated with you. It's not like you're another big company that just wants another line coming through your thing to add more money to your bottom line, right? You definitely saw this as something that you would buy into, you would like, you would love. So again,
Hmm.
I think that probably has a little bit to do with it too. So
Yeah.
you're ensuring that it gets the best exposure possible. So
But
so
one
that is
one thing I want
definitely
to one
definitely
thing
good.
I
All right,
want
so
to add
just now you talk.
one thing I wanted
Hmm.
to add, I think this is a good learning point for even when people are starting a brand and the brand story is essentially their story. Like one
Yeah.
of the things as you scale is how do
Hmm.
you even get your team to buy into your story
Yeah.
and your audience to buy into that story and spread that message.
Yeah. And you know what? That takes time. That takes time.
Mhm.
And it takes the constant repetition of that message over and over and over again. And it takes the constant living of that message and over and over and over again. From every touch point to every interaction, to every piece of communication. And
Mm.
that really does take time. It's like, yes, they have to drill it in people's heads like over and over and over again. Like, remember when we used to learn tables in school and we used to have to
Yeah.
say it all the time? That's how you learn, through repetition.
Hmm.
And definitely true when you want people to buy into your story and buy into your brand, you certainly do have to do it over and over again and keep moving and keep going back. You know what I mean? All right. So just now you talked a little bit about brand positioning. Um, and how the different brands are positioned in the market. So what one by one, and I know the hair space again is crowded, especially the natural hair space. We have so many products from Auntie Jackie, Dr. Miracle, Carol's daughter, Cantu, this, and we have a lot of local indie brands that
Hmm.
are coming out every Monday morning. People are learning how to do how to mix product, how to mix these acids and these chemicals and these stuff. YouTube, University of YouTube, courses online offering you different things, right? So the competition is stiff. So and or even brands like Mael, that's another one. Oh my gosh, mega brand, right? How are you? So tell me what is different what is special about Afrolove? Taking one of them, I want to hear the position of each one. So Afrolove and Curly Love. What is different about those two products?
Okay, so the thing is with Afro Love and Curly Love is that they're actually formulated for two different hair types. A lot of times you see, um, at least for the larger brands, the formulation, they kind of formulate for Afro hair, but they don't really formulate for Afro hair. So if you,
Right.
a lot of other brands you might find if you have 4C hair, like strong 4C hair, it's not working for you.
Yeah,
So
like
one of
mine.
the things
I'm a foresee girl.
yeah, one of the things that differentiated it is we made it simple. So Afro Love is for 3C to 4C hair. So the
Right.
entire line, in that line is formulated for 3C to 4C hair. And then
Mhm.
everything in Curly Love is for wavy to curly hair. So from 2B to 3B hair types. So that makes it a little bit easier for you to figure out where you fall and which products would work best for you. And then again, we are paraben free, sulfate free, silicone free, DEA free. Um, so it has better quality ingredients, and both lines actually also have a higher percentage of natural ingredients than most of our competitors. So the
Right.
things, when people get to use the product, even if it's of the same price point, like honestly, I could use an Afro Love curling curry after a few days, press my hair with some water and go again. I don't need to constantly keep applying product. So the formulation
Right.
itself of the brands of the products themselves are really great. They were
Yeah.
formulated really well. And then on top of that, you have the branding, the information, the because all of these things are added value that people may not necessarily see one time, but if you have a brand that is communicating, okay, this is the value, this is how you use the product, here's some style inspirations, here's some
Yeah.
this, here's some trouble that you may have with your particular hair type, and these are the products that you could use to solve it. All of
Yeah.
that wraps up in one, creates value up, above and beyond just simply this is the product.
Yeah. And I think that's what we need now. I think people are absolutely, yeah, like you can't make a product now and not create some sort of knowledge base. You have
Mm-hmm.
to give us that. We need
Mm,
the knowledge base. We need you to teach us how to use certain things. We need you to teach us what to do. Like how do we, I mean, this social media content is absolutely crucial. Or the website content, give us a channel, give us something, because we how do you use this? We Googling that, we
mm,
YouTubing that. It's an
yeah,
absolute, like if you don't have that, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm lost in space.
yeah.
Okay, so I see Janelle is on. Hey Janelle, good night. How are you?
Hi.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for jumping on the stream. Share the stream with somebody who might find it valuable if they want to become a distributor, or even if you have your own brand
Mm-hmm.
and you need to distribute it in stores. You need to have your physical retail presence. That is important. And we're going to be talking a little bit about that in a few minutes, right? So okay, so what is it? So Afro Love, in terms of price wise, they kind of around the same price, right? So you're getting more bang for your buck,
Yeah.
more bang for your buck, because I mean the quality. I've used Afro Love; it smells divine,
Mm-hmm.
right? It smells divine, and um, and it's around the same price because natural hair products, they're big investment. They're
Yeah.
big investment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So all right. So what about keratin X? Like, who's that ideally for, and what's the position of that? I don't know what makes it different to its closest competitor.
Right. So essentially, with Keratin X, one of the things that you would notice is keratin treatments are extremely expensive, right?
Mm,
So most people, if you're doing a keratin treatment on your hair, it's probably going to cost you around $600, maybe $800, depending on the length of your hair. And then you
right.
have to buy a range of products to maintain this keratin treatment, which
Mm,
are expensive as well. So really, our unique position in the market is that we offer people the opportunity to have those keratin products without the hefty price tag.
right.
So you could buy a keratinized deep conditioner for under 50 TT. We have a shampoo, 16-ounce shampoo might be $50 for the one with sulfate, $100 for the sulfate free. So it's making that benefit from keratin more affordable.
So
I
like
mean, even if
affordable luxury, a little bit of
right,
luxury, but affordable. Yeah.
I mean, even if you have natural hair and you're looking at a protein treatment, you could still use the same keratin product. It won't um permanently loosen your curls or anything like that.
Right.
So all of those are things that make it a little bit different because of that difference in price. And of course, people are more price sensitive now.
Yeah, 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 yeah. People definitely are price sensitive. So it's good that they have an option, they have an option in terms of getting something straight for the. I know I've always heard people talk about keratin treatments. I've never done it because I think my hair is suitable for keratin treatments. But and it's something that you really have to maintain. I mean, when your hair looks like so bone straight, like straight out of Vogue magazine, looks really good. but it definitely is something to maintain for sure because your hair can really break up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and what about the line of collagens? The nut, I call it the nutty line. The pistachio and the macadamia and all those kinds. As a matter of fact, you know what? I think I want to show people what these lines look like. So why don't you tell us a little bit about who those products are for, and ideally who should be getting them?
So the pistachio and collagen, it helps to stimulate the hair growth and eliminate frizz. And the macadamia and collagen, it helps to hydrate and repair the hair. So both lines are, I would say, kind of mid-range in terms of quality. So you may
Hmm.
still have some products that have sulfates in it, depending on which item you choose. With regard to
Hmm.
the shampoos, of course, because
Hmm.
sulfates are what you really find in shampoos. But I want we it's you want to give somebody something a little bit better than they would normally get
Hmm.
at that price point, because it's a
Right.
little hard to get things that have collagen and macadamia nuts and that kind of thing at a $40 to $50 price point, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, how can I give people the best value at,
Yes.
at a price that they could afford, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Because hair product. I mean the hair product um line of products is not. I mean, we have a conscious consumer now. It's no
Mhm.
longer that let me just wash my hair so it's not dirty anymore. I just absolutely need to.
Oh.
People are actually turning the bottle around and reading what ingredients are there. So
And
yeah,
more people
definitely.
are concerned about self-care as well.
Yes. Yes. Washing my hair is an appointment with myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So an appointment with myself. So you definitely want to do that. So yeah. So this is your macadamia collagen line here. These are them. And you can look. You get a whole set, guys. A whole set here for $2.95. So that is definitely something that you can use, right? All right, and okay, so we have all the nuts, we have the afro, and we have the keratin X lines, and I mean, so there's something for everyone, and I definitely get the distinct impression that these are affordable luxuries, so they may not be the most high priced, they wouldn't be the super cheapest, but they're giving you very good quality for the price point they are at. They're going to give you
Yeah.
something that you could definitely hold on to. And if and I could talk about Afro Love because I've used it and it smells absolutely divine. You definitely don't want to miss out on the opportunity to get that, right? So it's all right. So all right. So you know what? Let's talk a little bit about actual logistics now on the distribution. So,
Mhm.
so traditional distributors, they have usually relied on retailers to sell their product, but you're a little different. You have engaged digital from the start, and it's perhaps given the fact that you started your business not so long ago. But like the usual distributors, um, they don't have a website, but you have a website. You have a direct to consumer portion of your distribution network, right?
Mhm.
So how has this impacted? Has this option impacted your traditional retailers at all, or is it that you try to make each shopping destination a little bit different, make the experience a little bit different, so that the shoppers, even if people shop in person, shopping online will be something different, and they will be inclined to do what is suitable at the time.
Well, really, the reason why I have that option on the website really is because of the pandemic. The pandemic happened, everything was closed, and it was just like, sales is the lifeblood of a business.
Yes,
If you're not selling, it's the bills are gonna keep coming anyway.
yes,
So I just did like a makeshift website initially, just threw some things up there, put some stuff together. Okay, people could pay online and go. And then after a couple of months, I had somebody come in and make it a little bit better. And then probably by the middle of the year, I will revamp the website again. But
yeah,
it doesn't really impact the stores per se, because people will shop the way they want to shop.
yeah,
People that want to buy online and they want that experience. The customer that would prefer to go to a retailer like a Superfarm or Pennywise, they're looking for a different experience. They need to have that product right now. So they're just gonna get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's I think especially if you're small and you're now starting with your own products,
Mm-hmm.
having an online store option is a must. And that is also important because you're building a brand that people don't know yet,
Right. Yeah.
right? And you have to make sure that when that brand, if it is you decide retail is for you and you want to go into retail, people knowing, liking, and trusting the brand is what is going to help your products sell.
Yeah. Yeah. And 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 that's on keratin. And that's on Afrolove, at the end of the day, it really is about people, as you say, knowing, liking, and trusting, and to build that up. And I think we are at an advantage now. Never has there been a time in history where it has been so, relatively easy to reach potential buyers,
Yeah,
right? It has never in a time in history has it been as easy as now. It doesn't eliminate the need for you to be strategic, and eliminate the
hmm
need for you to have proper messaging, proper branding, proper distribution,
hmm
and a proper presence in different places, looking good, speaking to the right audience. But certainly, if you spend a little bit of time, as opposed to taking 5 years, if you spend like 5 to 10 months really working assiduously, you can really start to get people on your side. You know what I mean? And that is really important to know. So, use a lot of content. Use content creators to get your stuff out.
hmm
Maybe an influencer here or there to get the word out about the brands that you manage, and the things that you sell. But ultimately, you are responsible for how the brands appear on the market. You know what I mean? And how they are managed. So, what systems? So, let's kind of talk about the systems you would have put in place to ensure that the integrity of these brands remain um, intact, and that when they leave your hands and they go out to these retailers, that especially content creators in particular, who may be making marketing um, collateral from a digital point of view to represent these brands, right? How do you ensure that they are on message, that they're
hmm
talking to the right audience, and that they obviously don't get you in trouble with Afrolove, with the Afrolove bosses.
Well, with regards to the content creators, I mean, everybody will have their own metrics.
Yeah,
So, typically, most of the content creators we work with have at least 1,000 followers,
right.
and they have content that they've done before, on natural hair, right? If you have 10,000 followers and all of your pictures are a set of bikini pictures and a set of man liking your pictures, I'm not going to give you my products because
Right.
your audience is not my audience,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
You could say, well, one of the things you could do is say, well, if you're interested in working with the brand, can you please send me a screenshot of your audience so you could actually see how many men, how many women, those ratios that IG will give. What are the top locations that the your audience is in? If you have a lot of people in Port of Spain, Arima, or if it is you have people from all over the world, because at least for me, so the Afrolove is in several different territories,
Mhm.
but it isn't going to make a difference to my bottom line if I am giving products to somebody and all of their audience or the majority of the audience is in the US,
Yes.
right? So I would prefer to work with influencers that have a local audience in Trinidad as
Mhm.
opposed to some of the influencers that have um, reach a global reach, which is fine. It's just what brand fits with who, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I kind of look at, and then you could see where the engagement is from when they post, how many people kind of come across your page. You may see new likes, new followers, if you get a purchase from the website or not,
Mhm.
and how your sales funnel is working with those influencers.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and it's true. You definitely want to picking somebody with the right, whose audience is basically the right place, is just a strategic move. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it is a strategic move because we have there are a lot of natural hair influencers who would have a pretty split audience. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they split audience, so they might have some here, they might have some of the islands, you know, and then they will have some in other parts of the world. So choosing somebody like that is just strategic and it's the smartest thing
Mm-hmm.
to do, obviously. You know what I mean? But you know, everybody runs along the same lines though. Nobody kind of goes rogue and talks about their own thing. They have you give them a talk track. That's what I'm trying to get at. You know, do you give them a talk track to say these things, or do you give people the flexibility to create? Like, how does it work with you?
I essentially give people a lot of flexibility, especially when I'm now working with an influencer, so
Yeah.
or content creators, many of them prefer to be called.
Yes.
Just because it gives me an idea of who this person is with these products. So most people would have done work before, so they're pretty professional. Every
Hmm.
once in a while, you get people that just kind of go off the rails, and there's just nothing you could do about that. It's like, okay, well, no more products for you. Thank you very
Yeah.
much for your time, you know. But I mean, we have people that we've kind of tracked and worked well with. um always I start with, you want to try the brand, so we can give you some products in exchange for promotion. And that is really for us to get a good gauge as to where we're at, because that is it's really a low risk area for the brand to see if you're actually going to convert. Because those products, I know people would say they need to get paid, but pay customs, pay shipping, pay, the products themselves aren't free. So
Yeah.
by giving the product in order to see what the return is, it makes it easier for the distribution company, except in this case, which is me, to decide, okay, this is somebody I need to have on. I want to pay you to do 3 posts, 1 post a month, or whatever the case is. But that gauge first is important, especially because so many people have followers that are fake followers, engagement that isn't real, and you have all those bots and stuff. So it's like you really kind of have to make sure before you start spending the money, especially for a smaller distributor like myself.
Yes. So essentially, you want to be able to put them on a little bit of probation first. It's just like you're starting a new job. You want to have them on a little bit of probation first, so you can kind of see just how engaged their people are, just how I mean, that's how influential they are. I mean, influence really is getting people to take action on things that you
Right,
recommend.
right.
And even if they may not do it immediately, you know, you want them to be engaged enough for them to say, let me take a look. So at least you're supposed to see an uptick in your followers or your likes, or when you're going to your website, you're checking analytics. You need to
Mm-hmm.
see an uptick in traffic or whatever the case may be, checking out products. So you know that people are actually taking action. And you know, they just need to keep feeding them the message in order for the conversion to
Yeah.
take place.
I mean, and it's a long road, right? And I could appreciate that, because it could be that you are creating great content, like the best content ever, and you have 400 followers, and maybe you get one person converting, and then you may be producing all right content, but you have 20,000 followers and you get 10 times as much conversion. Now, the hard part is what brands are paying for really is the result, not the
Not the content
not the
itself.
content itself,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, I'm not paying you to be or a production company.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like it's access to the audience,
Yeah.
you know. So that can be a little bit that could be a little bit challenging sometimes, and then sometimes you need to kind of meet people in the middle,
Yeah.
but it's a long road, especially for Caribbean content creators, because your warm market is so small.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. Our market size, you
Hmm.
know, that was never a point of intimidation for you in terms of like, are these products going to sell, or you just never bothered with that? You kind of went straight in
Nah,
when
I
it.
just want I'm like, yeah, these products are gonna sell. These products are amazing. I love these products. I'm about to tell everybody how amazing these products are. you know. And
Right.
it was well grind. It was a lot of grind, and I was like, I was literally going to a Massy or Emancipation Village with the little boots, like, hey, you want to try these products? Free samples. They're
Yeah.
great. And I just kept doing that over and over again until I could get enough people to try it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, repetition for emphasis, you doesn't have to keep pushing it on them.
Yes,
Keep feeding it to them, keep slipping in here, slipping in there. I mean, as a distributor, that is the grind. You have to get it distributed, you have to get it distributed and sold, you know what I mean?
yeah.
That is the grind.
I didn't have the leg up of people already knowing the brand.
Right, yeah.
Many big there are many big brands like you said about Mile or even a Carol's daughter. Before it reaches on the shelf, people already know who they are, what they are, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. And you know what? I have to give you a big shout out because I think a lot of the bigger companies, what they do, and I suppose this is a benefit of being smaller too. What they do is that they will take established brands. You know, sometimes I don't know. This is what it looks like to me. It may be harder for them to take on an unknown brand and to just kind of like foot it and to the market because it will take a little bit of, particularly in the beauty space. Beauty and beauty products are, people are so fickle when it comes to that. Once they find something that works for them, they just hold on to it for their life, and they very rarely change, unless they find there's some sort of adverse effect on their hair, or maybe that it is out of stock and they have to switch. But as long as people start using a particular thing, I mean, they hardly ever change. Something has to happen externally to drive them to do that. But as long as they feel comfortable, they're not gonna move. You understand? They're not gonna move, and the space is already so competitive.
Yeah,
In
it is.
fact,
It is.
you know what I mean. So, all right. So I imagine as a distributor, you probably are a master negotiator. You probably know the, So if you had to, no, you probably are. So if you had to kind of give your top three negotiation tips for distributors, or for even for people who are creating their own brand and they want to get it into stores, like what would your top three negotiation secrets be to get them in there?
Negotiation secrets to get into stores. I mean, I think before the getting into stores part is one, building your brand, whatever that brand is.
Yeah.
Before you look to approach a store, before you even get to that point, build that brand, build that name, have people trying it, have your friends, the one say is my friend, but just keep talking about it all over social media, building that brand before you look at talking to stores. And then when it is you actually going to the going into talking to stores, one is to be flexible. A store may only want to take the product on consignment to see how it goes. And then two might be to be mindful.
Mm-hmm.
Not all stores will carry smaller brands on their shelves. So you have one
Mm-hmm.
or two stores that when you go and you look on the shelf, there are lots of little local brands. And then you have
Mm-hmm.
other stores where they're just not there. And that kind of gives you a sense of who might be the best fit. And
Mm-hmm.
then the third point is make sure you can offer marketing support. And stress that, because one of the things people think is that, okay, you bought my product, the product is on the shelf, that's your responsibility to sell it. Nope. Nope. You're going to have to offer coming into the stores to give out free samples. You're going to have to say how you want to market and push their store on social media, how you're going to direct your customers to their store. Like you have to kind of show how much support you're going to give them to make sure that when they buy the product, it leaves off of their shelf. You know, those
Mm-hmm.
are the things that will be most important.
Yeah, and our marketing support is not just for the store, but that's for you too. You want people to get
Mhm.
familiar with you out there grinding. They're seeing your face, they're seeing your reps, they're seeing your
Mhm.
brand. You might be wearing a shirt. You definitely want to be able to. So I guess what you're saying is that you want to give yourself leverage. Be
Yeah.
smart about the leverage that you build, right? Don't try to
Mm-hmm.
go in a place where you know that they don't distribute smaller brands. Go to
Mm-hmm.
the place where they do. Don't
Mm-hmm.
try to go there having absolutely no presence or thinking I just have a great product. Do the legwork and build up your brand. Get yourself online. Get yourself talking about the brand. Get yourself some PR, some press, some publicity. Sponsor a little something here and there, and really get your brand in people's orbit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, it's giving yourself that leverage so that when you step to the negotiation table to put your brand on a shelf, you can say, "Well, I know these are the amount of people who are interested. These are the sales we've had so far, you know." And I can definitely. The only thing I'm missing right now to be able to take this to the next level is a physical presence. And
Mm-hmm.
this is where you come in, you know what I mean? So you definitely want to give people that type of reassurance. So giving some that kind of leverage. So that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, and this might be surprising to people, but it is what it is. When we started with the Afro Love brand, we had like about maybe like 400 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
And the first store that ever reached out to us was Starlight. That was the
Really?
first. That was the first store that took our brand
Wow. And you know
and
what?
put
And
it on the shelf.
that's good to know because that was an inbound type of thing. That wasn't like you went to Starlight saw
No,
you and
they
they
saw
liked
us
you.
and they messaged us, and this is like while I was doing promotion at um Emancipation Village.
Yeah.
So I was getting product there. So from giving away free samples and telling people I'm not quite sure where you can get the products, to be able to say, yes, well it's in Starlight, so you could go and get it there, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Um and they carry a lot of local brands, like when you look on their shelves. So I mean,
Yeah.
I know everybody has their varying opinions about things, but facts is facts.
Facts is facts. Facts is facts. Stats are stats. Facts are facts. Sales are sales. Bottom lines are bottom lines.
Yeah.
That's just what they are. So yeah, that's really good to know. Well, I think that they were the first ones, It's obvious that they are on the market scanning to see what opportunities are there. So
Mm-hmm. They look
so
they tend to look for more unique items, things that
yeah,
everybody else doesn't have.
yeah, and I like that because what it tells me as well is that if you are doing a brand and doing it well, you position it well, it's branded well, it looks good. There are people out there who will want your product. So you have to make the effort and commit to doing your thing well. And you
Mm-hmm.
definitely want to do that, right? So yeah, so Nikita, I mean, you gave us a full masterclass here how to negotiate, how to access opportunity. People go to trade fairs. There are even if they have virtual trade fairs or virtual trade missions, there are people out there. You do not necessarily have to have a whole bankroll of money put down, but relationship is important. And being savvy, being smart, step to the table with a certain sense of clarity about how you're going to make things work, right? Use your transferable skills. So you might be running one business because, I mean, Nikita was in beauty before, but she used her skills to be able to negotiate this opportunity. Use your transferable skills, right? Think about positioning. Even if you start off with one, it can turn into like six. You're at six now, right?
Yeah.
And you never know what else could come out of that. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So this is a bit of a masterclass in distribution, right? So if you missed it from the start, definitely watch the replay so that you can see everything that we said. Don't worry that we started a little late. Just scroll up to about the 13-minute mark so that you can actually get in from the beginning, because flow cannot hold us down. We are here doing this thing. So, so Nikita, is there anything else you want to let people know if they decide, they want to get into distribution, being that middleman and being that person to, or even they could be a distributor and they could be the retailer too, depending on what you decide you want to do. Let's say you have a line of salons and you want to sell things through a salon, or let's say you have um, an online marketplace and you want to be able to sell things there. So any like final things, any nutshell things you want to share before we
Just be really clear about your pricing. I think
yeah,
probably that is like biggest mistake I think most people will make. A
Yeah.
lot of times when we have a lot of businesses now starting up and you're a small business, charge as much as the market will bear. And I know that people may find that to be controversial, but you're going to need that capital in order for you to be able to expand and reinvest in your business. So just charge as much as the market will bear.
Charge as much as the market will pay, baby. Because I mean, there are people out here selling bricks for $30 a one. I'm looking at you, Supreme. And there are people out here selling clothes with holes for thousands. I'm looking at you, Kanye West. So people can pay a little bit more for their shampoo, especially if it means preserving their hair. And understand that people like value. So if people
Mhm,
feel that something is really valuable, right? Um, they're gonna pay for it. You know what I mean? And
mhm.
but of course, don't price yourself out. This is a highly competitive market. Be smart about the way that you
Well,
do.
if you overprice yourself, it just won't move. So then you know you need to come down on your price.
Exactly. So you gotta be
Mhm.
smart about it, right? You gotta be smart about it. So if you would like to find Afro love and curly love and all the other loves, keratin X, collagen. Well, for Afro love and curly love, you can definitely follow on IG Afro love TT or at curly love TT, and the same thing for Facebook Afro love underscore TT, curly love underscore TT. And if you want to shop any of the products, you can get them here at TanexMandD.com, but you could also get them where else physically. Tell us the locations, Nikita.
Okay, so every product is in different places. So the Relax line and the Keratin X line are both in Pennywise.
Mm-hmm.
The Curly Love line you can get at any Superfarm location,
Mm-hmm.
and Excellent Stores carries both the Afro Love line and the Curly Love line.
Right. And one more place you will get it very, very soon is my very own beautiful market. Yes. So this is what I wanted to announce at the beginning of the stream when StreamYard will not let me live. So I'm want to just announce easily because it will be coming up more soon. I do have a website called The Beautiful Market, and this is a marketplace for all of us beauty lovers, just for us. There's no distraction, there's no TV, there's no electronics, no tablets, no exercise equipment, or no inappropriate sex toys on this marketplace. Only beauty all the time. So from beauty to makeup, everything that you need to look and feel beautiful will be retailed on this website. And soon enough, the products are from Tanex MandD will be here soon. If you're a vendor or somebody who would like to sell your product, you don't have a physical presence, and you want to be able to have a presence online, this marketplace can work well for you. And for the first 3 to 6 months, you don't have to pay any subscription fee. You can just come on, sell your stuff, you pay a commission on your sales, and then move on with life. It is what it is. And know that it's 100% beauty 100% of the time. And no distraction with anything else. So we're gonna fix
Mhm.
your only thing we're not giving you is clothes, right? You're gonna have to buy your own clothes somewhere else. But we can help you with your
Mhm.
skin. We'll help you with your natural clothes, which is your birthday suit. And we'll help you with your hair. And we'll help you with your makeup, and we'll help you with all the other things to make you beautiful. So the beautiful market is there, and you can definitely go to the website and sign up to become a vendor. It is absolutely free. Right now, if you get in right now, you do not have to pay any fees to sell to be on this website at the moment. So I'd say definitely want to check it out. No, that's not what it is. It's beautifulmarket.co. .co. Right? That's what it is. Beautifulmarket.co. So you definitely want to check that out. So I'm definitely gonna have to talk about this beautiful market again because Flo was really trying to interrupt my flow tonight and then let me really express it fully and talk about it. Right? So remember, right? So to check out Afro Love, Curly Love, to get your products. And you know what? So, and of course, clear messaging is the first step to attracting the audience that you want, and delivering on your brand is the promise, and it's the best way to keep them, right? So I can help you with the first, and I can ensure that you get through with the second. So if you would like, if you're a beauty brand and you want to move from a boring business to an engaging brand, I can help you with your messaging, your messaging, your visuals, and your content. All right. So, Nikita, thank you once again for coming tonight and sticking through the technical difficulties. We appreciate you. I appreciate you here. And people, again, I'm Jamila Banser, brand strategist of Beauty Brands. And thank you for being here this evening. And don't forget to tune in next week, right here. We will have another episode of The Lipstick Effect, where we'll be talking about another amazing topic to another amazing business owner along the lines of beauty, and teaching you how you can be a better brand, more engaging, more unique, more different, more sexy, more out there, and just more attractive to the audience that you would like to sell to, so that you can get those sales and make that money. All right. So I'll see you next week. Have a great one. Goodbye.
Bye.